This would probably be a good time to stop. Andrew, what did I just say? Sammy, what did I just say? That's what I'm talking about. Andrew, I need you to bring me a piece of white paper up there.
Scrap paper?
Yes. I will cut it in half, one for you and one for Sammy. It is now your lucky day. I don't know how lucky it is. No, I don't need one. I'll just give it to Andrew. It'll be simple. I just have to write down what I said because you weren't quite focused on it. In case you missed it. Wait, what is that?
What? You want me to go ask him?
Yeah.
Go.
Is he sick?
You gotta go faster.
No, I forgot.
Nana's here.
Oh. Did he ask me for the date? He just kind of moved out. George, what were my words? I can't remember them now. Now is probably the time for you to stop talking, wasn't it?
Oh. Walked out. He just walked out like that. Did you ask? There's a little kid, he went to make some kid and the mom was like, yup, that's a big kid. I'm like, oh. Jacob, you're walking out like, what are you doing? Oh, wow. Jacob just freaked out. He's like, what's it more important? I didn't have to do
All right. Under the word data there, please. Data just simply means information. And one of our deals is when you have data in itself, I mean, we call something raw data when it's not organized. Data really needs to be put down in some organized form. You need to organize it, otherwise it doesn't really mean a lot. For example, let's just do a little informal survey of some data here. As I ask you, please just tell me, to the nearest half an hour, how much homework you per se on any typical day. I mean, the choice is 0 would be none, half an hour, 1 hour, 1.5. For the nearest half of an hour, you don't have to yell it out. I will ask you individually, and then you can just tell me, Maggie, how much per se on any general day, an average? 0, half, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3. Make it quick. Think of your answer now so I don't have to say Colton and then you sit and think for 25 more minutes because this will really go slower. I like this to be fast, so have it maybe written down on your piece of paper so you can already see it and you just kind of spout it out to me. Maggie? All right, there, good. That's it. Colton?
1.
1. Boom.
1.
Oh, you have a lot of ones here. Yes. Sam, or Julia? 2? I'll go for that.
1. 2.
So I'm at Sammy. We're going kind of logical here. Just 2? Andrew?
1.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't think it's some of you are not. Colin?
1.
This is not going to be good. Victoria?
0.
That's what I like to hear. Give me some number there. Do you have 2 hours of homework? It isn't in math because you're always done with it before you went 9. What's it in?
English. What?
Anderson.
Half.
That's what I like. We'll go. Let's put a fraction. Sure, 1/2. Max?
Maybe, yeah. 1 half.
1/2?
Yeah.
Chupa.
1.
Brooklyn says 1. Iowa says 2.
3.
3.
Half.
Half. Half. Okay. Great. 1. Frankie? 0. Jacob? Half.
1.5.
There we go. Give us some people there. Jordan? Huh? 2. Really 2. Some of you are not 100% sure. Andrew, did you have a question?
Can I go to the bathroom? My eyes bleeding.
Sure.
It was the side of his eye.
Okay.
The eye is not.
Now, as I was saying, young 6th graders, as you look at this, you know, you're kind of seeing like a whole bunch of numbers and whatever there. Until we organize this, you know, you really, I mean, you can make some generalizations, I guess, or whatever, but here's what we're going to do. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to make what we call a line plot. One way to organize something is to make a line plot. And by a line plot, you have a number line, and you put X's, and X will represent each data point. And I'll show you what that means right here. So, if we're talking homework, we started at 0, and we went basically to 3 hours. So we'll go at 0, 1 hour. I need to do this a little differently. I'll do it here. Maybe move it down. 2 hours, 3 hours, and then we have halves. So there's half an hour, 1.5, 2.5. And because I can do it, I'm going to try this. Let's see if the board is really working. Let's shrink this down and give you something. So, if you make a line plot, this is what it looks like. Basically, what you do is you take each data and you put an X there. So I have this one, I put an X above the one because that was 1 hour. These are hours. Another one, I put an X right on top of it. A third one, I put a third X. Here's a 2 hour, then I have a 1 hour, and I have a 2 hour. I have 2 more ones, a 0, a 2, a couple of halves coming around the bend, another 0, a 1/2, a 1.5. Oh wait, no, did I miss the 3? Sorry. Hold on a second. I gotta go back to where I was. Back. I just put my 2 1/2s. No, I need to take 1/2 away. And a 1. Yeah, I think I was there. Right?
Yeah.
Now back to ours. So I have a 1 hour, a 2 hour, a 3 hour, a 1/2 hour, another 1/2 hour, a 1 hour, a 0 hours, a 1/2. I might have gotten a little mixed up there.
You put 3 zeros.
Let's look.
No, there's 2
No,
zeros.
there's 2.
I mean, yeah.
Is there only 2?
Yeah.
Good thing this is not scientific. Okay. Now, so this is our line plot. And what the line plot does is it organizes your data. And on a line plot, we've got a couple things we look at. Maybe that's not on this. Is it on this? I guess it isn't. I thought maybe they talked about this. Must be in 7th grade we talk about this, maybe 6th grade. But on line plots, you look for what we call clusters. And if you look at a cluster, you kind of get one here, which means a cluster basically means a grouping. Because if you look at a grouping, you kind of get a feel for how much homework really 6th grade really has. You know, most people are spending between 1/2 and 1 hour with their homework. You do have some people over there, some people over there. And then you've got this little guy up here, which happens a lot in data. Okay, a lot of times when there's like one that's kind of out there a little bit, we call that an outlier. So if you're ever asked to make a line plot, you can give some information. If I asked you how many people say they study for about 2 hours, you would say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 people. How many people study for 1 hour? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't know if that was 1, 9, or whatever. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is your typical garden variety line plot. And you can kind of get some feel there. Now, if you'd open your books to page 212, and don't take out your notes yet either. Don't put away your notes. because it talks about under data, quantitative data and qualitative data. And what is the difference between the two? It says, in this investigation, we'll focus on ways in which statistical data can be collected. We also practice collecting, organizing, displaying, interpreting, blah, blah, blah. Data can either be quantitative or qualitative in nature. Quantitative nature, or quantitative data come in numbers. The population of a city, the number. Quantitative is numbers. And which makes sense because that comes from quantity. You know, it will answer the question how many. That is quantitative. The quantity of people. How many people are in 6th grade? How many people are in school? How many people got, you know, whatever they are. Qualitative data comes in categories. 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 You know, maybe, for example, what color? You know, how tall? Things like that. You know, categories. So they're going to ask us if you know, this is why you're on this page here, page 212. You are supposed to decide whether this is qualitative or quantitative. Wow. If I have a kid again, I am going to call him Jagdish.
What?
That's number one. Number one, Jagdish collects 50 bags of clothing for a clothing drive and counts the number in each bag. Would that be quantities or qualities? Mrs. Stone, you might be up for having one more child. You're close there. What do you think of Jagdish? Can we spell it right in the book? Huh? Jagdish.
I'm sitting here thinking about what could that be? It can't be Jagdish.
Jagdish.
I don't know where it comes from, but what do you suppose the
Jagdish.
Jagdish.
No, you want to listen to the rest of this, or you have a question for me? Because I'd get right to it.
No, well, yeah.
What do you suppose the nickname for Jagdish would be? Dish?
Jagdish.
Sure, I think we stay away from Jag. So.
Hey, ditch. So
No, I'm
basketball.
talking about basketball.
Ditch.
Saying I could be here because I hear you're doing great.
Well,
And I know
Reed's
it's done by
over
five,
by 5.
And that's the same time the game starts. So I'll go grab the baby, come back, and set this stuff up and be ready to rock.
But Miss Pinow's here as well.
So I don't.
One way or
Go
another.
with that. I don't know that it'll stay till 7 if you have
No,
to write that
no,
But I can be here till 6 started.
Is Mrs. Hahn signed up for?
Nobody has signed up because this is the one that got moved.
Oh.
I don't.
She probably can be, him probably can be here. Should be no big never mind. Jordan, what was your question? Oh, we're gonna answer that question. Number of bags in the clothing drag would be qualitative or quantitative? Yeah, how many? It answered the question. How many? Number 2, for 1 hour, Carlos notes the color of each car that drives past his house. Is color a category or a number? The color of cars. Categories and numbers. Zach, it's
Qualitative.
yeah, it's qualitative. Qualitative color. Number 3. Sharon rides the school bus home after school. For 2 weeks, she measures the time. The time. Is time a number? Ask how much or how many? Quantitative or qualitative, Peyton? It's actually quantity. The time the school bus takes is a quantity. It's an amount. Think of numbers and amounts. You're talking about amounts. How about number 4? Bridget, or Bridget, one of the two, ask each student in her class, which is your favorite holiday? Is a New Year's, Thanksgiving, Independence Day. Are those, how many of those things, or is a holiday a category? Are you separating the categories? Victoria?
Qualitative.
Qualitative. That's a quality. Number 5, Marcelo asked each player in his Little League team, which Major League team is your favorite?
The white side.
Which team do you like the least?
The
Trevor, it's what? Qualitative or quantitative?
Quality.
Qualitative. Number 6, no, we're not gonna write it. Blah, 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 blah. Take a look at the chart there on page 213. I don't know, you people, if you watch TVs, I think this has probably changed more about watching TV than hours you play video games, maybe.
Oh, mine would.
Notice that line plot there. What's the line plot about? The number of hours people watched some TV. How many students were there? 32. Does it ask us a question about that? Oh.
Oh, we.
So I think they're going at that top thing is a quantitative, how many people watched, but then the bottom one is what type of TV shows they watched, which were sports, news, animation, sitcoms, movies, blah 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 blah. Yeah. Me personally, I think we're just going to stop right there. I'm going to give you a quiz, and that will be your homework.
Thank you. Thank you.